Here are the best bases in Palworld, including triple oil spots, triple hexalite spots, and glitched underwater locations. What's up guys, so we are going to start with the easiest ones to get to, and every base we go through they're going to get cooler and cooler, so this is a video for all levels. First of all, we are going to head over to this little mountainous region at the right. I will show you all the chords on screen so you don't have to be confused. We are going to head over to this mountain, which should look really familiar if you've played this game, because this used to be the most popular base location in the game. Even I had a base up here, and I've been playing the game for a super long time. The chords are 190, -45. This mountaintop looks really cool. The scenery is the best part about this base. It has a bunch of really cool stuff around it, like the Jurra boss over there. It has a bandit camp over here. It has a bunch of waterfalls. It has the tower boss over there. You can see the tree. But enough about the views. This base has a ton of ores. I think it has like 6 or 7 iron ores, or it looks like even way more than that. They must have added some recently. They have a ton of space, so you can build like a double or triple decker base. I even have some glitched farms up here. Plus it has some coal, a whole bunch of trees, and you're immune to any kind of raids. You're obviously on top of a huge mountain. You can see it from so far away, so everyone on the server will be able to see you, and any raiders cannot be able to come up to your base since you're surrounded by a bunch of natural cool terrain. And like I said, it has a bunch of really cool stuff about it. This is in a really busy area, so you can see all this kind of stuff. The sealed realm of the Guardian. It has a bunch of bandit camps, a bunch of these cool little waterfalls. People in multiplayer will definitely be around you if you live up here, which some people that is a benefit, some people that is not a benefit, but definitely one of the really cool bases of the game, especially if you're just starting out. However, let's move on to some higher tier bases for the higher level people, because I feel like most people watching these videos aren't low level, but if you are, this is the perfect base location for you, and I definitely lived a lot of wipes and a lot of updates in this base up here. Now this next one is going to take us to the left side of the map, the home of the Jetragon, the really big volcano mountain, and this base is really cool for a few reasons. First of all, we are at chords -810 and -460. We have a few things here, including a bunch of really cool ores. You have a chest over here that regenerates. The mobs here, or the pals here, are really high level. However, the cool thing about this base is there's not one, not two, but 3 oil things here, 3 oil puddles for you to farm. And if you use the double oil glitch, which I have a ton of videos on each one of these puddles, that means you can get 6 oil extractors at one single base. Now this one, that is kind of the main point of it. I used to have a really cool big base here in some of my old videos, so if you've been subbed for a while, you've probably seen those. And this is just a really cool area to be in if you like Hano region, along with having Jetragon as your neighbor. So I definitely recommend this one if you're a bit of a higher level, or you can just put an oil base down here since nothing is really going on over here. This is kind of an empty area of the map. You can see there's just ocean this way, the glitch tree over here. This is a really cool place to have an oil base, which is what I used it for. It got me like 1,000 oil a day or something. It was really nice. Now before we get on to the next base real quick guys, I'm adding a bonsai tree at my base for every single subscriber we get until we hit 20k. So there's about 100 right now since we've hit that in the last month. Imagine 3,000 of these, so make sure to sub up if you want to be a permanent part of my base. I used to do this with furnaces until I moved them to a different base, so we are filling my new glitch base with bonsai trees for every single subscriber. So if you want to join up and sub, and you will get a permanent bonsai tree at my base. Now like I said, we do have some glitch bases later on, but I've been trying to keep it only legit bases so far. And this base right here, I used to have a humongous base here. You might remember because I was placing a furnace for every single subscriber. We actually got that moved, so I will show you guys more about that later. But this is on the new island, the Saka Island. This is at chords negative 515 and 167. I actually wasn't going to show this base because I've showed it for so long, but I wanted to put it in here as a quick little bonus. This has 2 oil extractors, it has a chest up here, and it is just in a really flat area, so you can build some really cool stuff here. Now again, I don't want to harp too much on this location because it doesn't have anything too special, but it has these little mushrooms you can build on. It has a really flat area, 2 oil constructors here, 2 oil puddles where you can build stuff to get oil, and it just in a really nice Japanese inspired area. So I would definitely build here if you guys have no other spots or you don't like any of the other spots. Alright, this is the last base before we start getting into the really cool ones. This is the triple Hexalite base. So as you know, you can mine Hexalite at your bases, and this base has 3 Hexalite nodes. So if you build a base here, these will regrow. You can mine them with your pals and it will get you a ton of Hexalite. It even comes with this little ore researcher here that you can do whatever you want with. I usually like to slaughter him mercilessly. However, you can like keep him as a pet or catch him or do whatever you want. So this, I believe, is the only place in the game that has 3 Hexalite crystals right next to each other. So you can build a really profitable base here. I know a lot of people who just build a base here and like not even use it as their main base, but use it as a Hexalite base because it gets you so much of this valuable material. Like you can see, that is what 1 crystal gets you. This is, I like haven't even gone through half of these crystals yet, or half of a single crystal, and you get hundreds and hundreds of Hexalite ores, and they respawn super fast. So this is at chords negative 1062 and negative 1428. The only issue with this base is it's kind of annoying to get to. You obviously can't really fly over here because these little missile things will take you out mid-air. So if you do manage to get over here one time, make sure you place a base down or some other thing where you can teleport over here, because it is not easy to get over here. But trust me, building a nice little base here and letting your pals mine Hexalite for you while you're out doing other things will definitely be worth it. Even if you're not the highest level yet, this material will come in handy later on and in future updates, so you definitely want to stock up on some ores and some Hexalite quartz over here. Alright, this is when we start getting into some of the coolest bases in the entire game, including a glitch base coming up next. First of all, we are going to go to this little river at chords negative 905, negative 1319, and we are going to head inside this little hole in the wall. Now, this is a really cool dark little cave, which you might have been in before. However, I bet you didn't know that you can actually build in here. So it's a really cool place for a base. I actually had a base in here before too. I know I've said that about a lot of these locations, but they are really cool. So this is what it looks like inside this really big flat area inside of a cave. It has a friendly pal tamer in here, plus a chest right over here, so you can talk to her. I think she gives you something. Oh yeah, she does give you the watering technique 1. I must be on a new save or something. I've gotten that before, but I guess I get it again. And you can build some really cool stuff in here. It's kind of dark, so I like to add some lights, but all these little crystals on the floor make it really cool to build a nice little like Japanese inspired base or a nice little cave dwarf base in here. The only downside is there's no ores or anything special like Hexalite. However, with the new stuff that you can build, like the ore mining site 2s and the ore mining site specials like coal and everything, you don't really need that kind of stuff. But this is cool for like a electricity base or like a crafting base or anything along those lines, and is definitely one of my favorite locations in the entire game. However, let's get on to the glitch location, which is my favorite location right now, which I made a few videos on before because it is just so cool. And oh, there's actually 2 chests in here. I didn't even realize that. However, make sure you guys join the Discord in the description if you want to talk about more Palworld, and especially if you have some special bases in here that look really cool. You guys can send some pictures in there. I'm always willing to look in there and look at some really cool bases, and I love the ones that you guys have sent so far. Alright, we have arrived. I have this glitched underwater base. Now, I used to have some more items and stuff in here, but I cleared it out just so it's easier to show you guys. You can actually build like inside of these walls on the side and stuff, so trust me, you have a lot more space than it looks like. However, I'm going to show you guys how to get inside of there and how to build a base. The chords are at negative 660 and 207. I'm really excited about this base, guys, especially on multiplayer servers. You are completely completely hidden. Almost nobody knows how to get inside here, so you will have a really exciting and really unique base if you decide to build in here. So what you're going to want to do is get to the waterfall right here that is to the left of this cool little totem. It used to have the green thing on here that increased your chances of catching pals. I forgot what it was called, but I already took it, so don't worry about that. We're going to go to this waterfall. Again, the chords are -660 and 200, and we're just going to walk straight into the waterfall. Now this might take you a few tries, but if you do it correctly, it will glitch you out like this. And now what we're going to do is just back up a little bit, and if you do it correctly, you should fall into this little like black cave area. Now you might seem like it's done and you'll be able to go to the base, but you'll actually be stuck right here. There's an invisible wall, so what you're going to want to do is go to the left and climb up, and you should glitch through the wall just like that, and boom, it's very easy. It might take you a few extra tries, but I pretty much perfected it at this point. And remember, nobody can just come in from the top. Like, it's completely blocked off. You can't just swim down and like go into the base. You will be able to see it a little bit if you are looking through the water, but you won't be able to actually reach the base. So let me show you guys one more time just so nobody is confused, because I did try and go through that a little bit fast. All you're going to have to do is walk through this waterfall. If it doesn't work for the first few times, it doesn't mean it's patched. Sometimes it doesn't work just like that, but once you run through and you get glitched to the top, you're just going to go back a little bit until you fall through, and boom, you should be in this black cave area. I always keep the Palhanu on me to keep it a bit easier, but I don't actually have him on me, so that proves you don't really need him. And then you just run straight up through the wall to the left, and you should be in here. This is the last space I'm going to go over. It's definitely the coolest. However, this one might get patched soon, guys, so if you're going to use this one, make sure you use it soon.